Hey everybody, Doug here from 2 Plus Stuff, and we are hanging out doing some hobby. Forgive me for seeming a little bit out of breath. I hit I was just about to hit the live button, and I pulled my mic towards me, but for whatever reason, like two of the screws popped out, and the whole assembly just kind of collapsed on me. Oh, that was a nice little surprise. So, what we are doing today, I will share what I'm working on with you guys, and please share what you're working on with me. We got some models to build. I got a Bone Splitters Maniac Shaman, which is the boar riding wizard. I have Sin and Viper from Marvel Crisis Protocol because I needed some lower point options so I could do some more fun list building. And then over here we have our Kronspire Incarnate of Ghur, so we'll be building that up. So I don't really have a format to any of this. I'm just going to be hanging out and chatting. Hope you all will join me and have fun. Thank you so much, Lord Billy. All coming through loud and clear. Nice. Now you always got to be careful with these Finecast to make sure you know where the model actually ends, because it's easy to clip stuff that you are not intended to. Okay, a lot of cleanup on that. Let's see. The Incarnate is huge. Yeah, it's a 130 mil base. It's a big boy. I think it's the same size base as Nagash, just not as tall. That might not be accurate, but I think it is. This was actually sent in to me by a viewer for my tournament list for Vault Wars, so I'm very excited. It's one of the last models I need. The other one is a rogue idol that's being designed by user Viridian Forge, because I wanted a custom something. I wanted a boar. And he is cool enough to help me with my boar-based dreams. Okay, that's enough to get me started anyway. I have arrived. What are we building? Right now we're building the Maniac Shaman from the Bone Splitters. Just kind of doing some light cleanup. I feel like I can already tell that tail's gonna break. Yeah, it's okay. Good job, they did it on the face though. Now, I did promise somebody I'm going to paint this like Bebop, I believe it is. Alright, I think it's Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the purple mane. On the piggy. I see you're working on the model? Oh yeah. Absolutely. Could not be more excited. I have been waiting. I just got this and my I suppose I actually still need a few models, right? I still need 2 Savage Big Bosses. But I want to do something that's not the official GW kit. I don't want to have any repeat sculpts in my army. Not a small feat for Bone Splitters. They don't have a huge model line, even back when it was Orcs and Goblins. There we go, get that. My problem as always with Finecast is not the brittleness. I've never had a Finecast model just break on me or anything like that, but rather you have to really look and see, like, okay, what is the model and what is just flash. Okay, so that, for example, part of this guy's foot thing is just flash. Okay, we gotta cut all that out of the center first. Starting a campaign league for Conquest next week. Can't wait. Have you played much? Not as much as I would like to, but we just started an every other week group here with a store that's pretty on board as far as we can all tell. So I am excited. He hasn't agreed to buy product quite yet, but that's one of those things. We're going to build the community up, make sure that it's something that works for both the store and him. But I'm hoping to play some on Sunday. Would be my next available opportunity. Let's start getting this guy together. Just a hot sec. Old paint problems. There we go. I'm just going to hold them like this for a hot sec and chat with you guys on the stream. So feel free to ask any questions you got, or if anyone wants to choose a topic, please go for it. But Steven, yes, I am very excited to get going with possibly a slow grow league or something like that locally. That would be quite nice. Here's hoping Old World gets GW to pay some attention to the Forgotten Ranges. Yeah, I suppose so. I just don't have a whole lot of enthusiasm for that. And I don't know why. It's just something where I'm like, I don't know. It needs to offer something that, say, for example, Conquest doesn't, which is also a rank and flint game. And I mean that from a game perspective, not a IP one. Intellectual property. If it's gonna interest me. Nostalgia is not a part of that buying process for me. Did you see the egg Skaven? Yes, I saw a brief image about that. I've been recording all morning, so I haven't actually been online a whole lot. But yes, I saw that Skaven either now come in Easter egg form or hide in eggs, if nothing else. Although I can say, if they land it, it'll be the most impressive retcon to say that they all came from eggs. Pardon me. Benjamin, are you excited for Warcrow from Corvus Belli? So I signed up for their newsletter thing because it piques my interest. I like the company. I like sort of like their style when it comes to rules writing and stuff. But as far as I know, they haven't actually said anything meaningful about it, right? I mean, their page for it is just email collection. So at this point, I couldn't tell you I'm excited about it because I don't know what it is. But the second they tell me. I'm curious to know sort of what kind of fantasy it ends up being. More heroic, or is it, Dark Souls meets miniatures, that kind of thing. They have some fantastic writers. I think there's a lot of ways they could go. And if you're watching this thinking, well, Doug, why did you glue it to the base before you had all the legs on? Well, I'll tell you. It's because I'm a dingus. No, it's because I just needed to get that leg supported. There we go. No, I was just really wanted to get this stuff drying so that it could sit up on its base and do these legs touch? Dang near. I don't like that very much at all. They're so close to one another. Need him to stand up straighter than that. Sorry, I know this is not exactly riveting. Give me just a sec. Basically, I just need to prop this boy up so he can dry in some kind of acceptable pose. What can I do? See if I can jerry rig something like this. Ah, you damn. Sorry, everybody. They're like, work with me, work with me. Nope. Okay, that's just about right. These little arms are pretty useless when it comes to trying to hold a base in place. Yeah. Whatever. It's gonna figure it out. I despise those things. this by is I should probably just drill it out and pin it. That'll probably save me some headaches in the long run. Let's just get it over with. Okay. No, not good. Okay. They did say it would be classic races, elves, dwarves, but talked there would be unique factions as well. Okay. Tyler Baker, Doug, you still planning on making it to Vault Wars next month? Yes, I am. Very excited to as well. Yes, I said I roped my buddy into joining me. We are going to have ourselves a grand time. But these guys will be there, and yeah, I got to figure out who I want to grudge round one. I think that's the only round you can call a grudge on. Are you going to be there, Tyler? Okay. I've only done this once before. I don't normally pin models, even though there are many occasions when I should have. See most of the War Machine and Horus models I've ever built in my life. Bit off topic, does anyone have a good source of barbed wire? I feel like I've heard of one, but now for the life of me I can't think of where I heard that ad. I'll be driving down from Des Moines with a couple buddies. Nice! Oh, Tyler, I didn't know you were in Des Moines. That's awesome. Have we talked before? I feel like when I first moved here, I met a whole bunch of nice folks who were super excited to have me around, but I need to go a little deeper than that. Put the base in the handle and then hold the figure against it. No, I'm good. No, I know what you're saying as far as like actually using the thing. I just needed to pin it. I'll be honest. Army Painter has barbed wire. There you go. Slave to Chaos. Hey, that guy, you know, what is up? What's this figure we're building? We are doing a... What is this guy? Maniac Weird Knob, I think is his full name or something like that. Something akin to it. Essentially a sorcerer on boarback for the Savage Boys. There we go. Now we got him pinned up right now. We would put him in Abyss. He just wasn't... He wasn't able to hold position the way I needed him to without the pin. So now we can grip the bulk of him. I don't think we really need a grip, to be honest. I'm just trying to tilt it up a smidge so it's a little bit more straight because the leg got all warped, because that's what Finecast does. There we go. That looks about perfect. So now we'll just glob about 3 cups of glue at the bottom. Hope to God it holds. There we go. Boom. Now, I do still have these bone fragments that I have no idea where they go. Oh, it's his tusks. Okay, cool. Well, there's no reason to do that now. I'll just let him sit for a bit. Try to get all that to dry. Do you like Skaven? Do I like a Skaven DJ in a battle? I have no idea what you're talking about, Omar. AK Interactive. I think I've heard of them before, and they definitely do historical, what do they call it? Like, not vignettes, but when you have like a specific scene diorama. There we go. So that would probably be a good place to check out. Okay, so we got that done. What's next? Let's do... I'm working in order of importance. Next, we gotta build Sin and Viper. I've been playing quite a bit, at least a weekly game of Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. But the problem is, I'm playing Spider Foes, and a lot of those models cost 4 points, so I'm a bit hampered when it comes to, you know, options and list building. I've kind of just been running the same thing. I just choose to either duck out Venom or Carnage. I think in this last game I swapped out like Lizard Man instead, just to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty same. So hopefully this will help with that. Okay, and this one would be Viper. So Sin, Viper. Can anyone recommend good pre-made bases for Fire Slayers looking to try something other than Warhammer technical paints? If you want good pre-made bases, I do have someone. Give me just a hot sec here. So let's see, Gamergrass, how do you look up just... Okay. So I got the link here for you, Lord Billy. Gamersgrass has sent me a few things. They have pre-done bases. If you go to their website, here, so this is their site. Oops, sorry, I'll get that out of the way. If you go up here to bases, battle ready bases is what you're looking for. They have it all ready to go, and you have all different kinds. The temple one is actually really neat to me, but you know, they don't look like anything particularly extraordinary in terms of like their environment. Like, if they're not crazy fantasy scapes, these are things that would work for most games. Badlands, yeah, there's some cool ones. I did a review of these a long time ago. Basically, what's cool about these bases, and the reason I always suggest them to people, is because you can buy all of the ingredients to make their basing decks, like rocks, temples, tufts, all that kind of stuff. or you can let them make it for you with the same parts. So like the Badland base, if you bought all the Badland crap that they sell, you could make it. So what I recommend to people if they want to get into basing is buy a set or two of the pre-made ones, and then to save money, if you're building a horde or something, then get the individual parts and just make it look like the ones that you've already bought, the pre-made ones. So you'll save a little bit of coin if you're doing a ton of bases. If it's just a few for like, you know, Warcry or something like that, whatever, buying these things is a great value, but that's what I would suggest. It's amazing. Thanks, Doug. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I always try to help. Certainly whenever I can. Keats Cast, hey, what is up? So let's get Viper. I don't know either of these characters. Do any of you guys, do I have any Marvel fans in the chat today that can tell me about Sin and Viper? The more I play Marvel Crisis Protocol, the more I appreciate it as the game it is, rather than just for the nostalgia aspect of playing Marvel characters. It's just a cool, like, I love like the range system and the measurement and the movement tools. I like it. I mean, it's the reason I liked Star Wars Legion 2. It's not super surprising, but it is quite nice when things flow very, very nicely. Very few times, me and my buddy Jeremy are the ones playing this. Very few times have we ever had like rules questions. Usually it just comes down to like objective versus I don't know, however else they word stuff. All the missions have different ways of wording things, so it's just making sure you're using the right rules for controlling things. If I remember right, Sin is Red Skull's daughter. Ooh. Well, that's kind of rad. I mean, it would make sense. I think I saw something where she worked with him. I know she works with Crossbones or something like that. Another character, I have no idea. People seem to like him. Should I do Redskin or Dark Green? Or oh wait, I'm interested in Side Ironjaw's Cruel Boys project, and I'm thinking of strong industrial Chaos Dwarf influence. Ooh. You know, honestly, I don't know anything about Chaos Dwarves. Like, I know they existed in fantasy battles, and we know that they exist in AOS, but we haven't been given any, like, glimpse into them. So, I don't know. World's your oyster. That's a lot of, it's a lot of skin to paint, so ask yourself what you actually want to paint. I think is certainly the most important. One color being cooler than another doesn't much matter if you get so tired of painting you don't want to do it anymore. Nice. Oh my god, these are so simple. Some of these kits are so stinking difficult to build, y'all. So when I get one that's like just plugs right in through all of it, like, oh, thank you. I feel like Asmodee knows what I really needed. It was just an easy win. Oh, that one's me. Nice. Might as well Ghur. Why not? Tilts right over. Give me a let's see if we can balance her up a bit. It's not that it doesn't fit, it's just that it's a very shallow opening that she has to be able to put that peg in. There we go. I like that one. I like that angle because her face is looking directly forward like she's charging somebody rather than being kind of tilted downward. What are we doing today, Doug? We're building some random models. That's what we're doing. I got up ahead here. I don't know if you can see them on screen. You can see the base of the GW holder, but we have there we go. We have the maniac weird knob up there who's trying. I had to pin the foot into the base. This is Viper, and now we're building Sin for Marvel Crisis Protocol. Oh, that guy you know. Thank you so much. Just saw the milestone. Keep up the great content. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, in case anyone's curious, I got done today recording 3 videos covering the lore of the Thondia book. So there's 2-part story elements of the actual narrative of the book. And then I did one that was just kind of general incarnates, just what we learned about them in general, so that we can kind of make assumptions based on incarnates in other stories. It's like even if we don't have a model for it, we could still talk about what an incarnate does when it arrives and that kind of thing. Keatscast, I'm building my final box of Rebel Troopers for Legion. So we're building such easy models. Oh, I know. Isn't it glorious? She's like, what do you mean there's 4 parts? That's why I'll admit, part of the reason I keep cycling back through armies that were in fantasy battles, I just love how much easier the models were to build back in the day. Like, when I had my latest round of Slaves to Darkness, right, I was building a whole bunch of Chaos Warriors, the old ones, and then that new Start Collecting box that has the new sculpts in it, and it's just night and day difference how different or easy they could be to build. Oh my god, guys. It just feels like they made everything more complicated. It used to be head, torso, front, back, weapon. Cool. What's his head and what's he's carrying? What's his head and what's he's carrying? Pick a helmet that looks cool, give him a weapon. The only kit that frustrated me lately, and I say lately in quotes, it's been a while, but the what do they call it? The Corvus Cabal for Warcry, putting together the Harvey Birdman who's like launching at you. That thing was a pain because like one part has to like go up and through another section. You're just like, how in the ever-loving heck was anyone supposed to figure that out? That's when I have to put down my Mr. Rogers, esque modeling persona and pick up my Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park of, you guys at GW, your designers were so preoccupied on whether or not they could, they didn't think about whether or not they should. Instead, her thing is rubble. I don't think that'll look good on this metal grate, so let's grab her this one. The Incarnate model was a bit underwhelming. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, I missed some stuff. Let me go back up here in a sec. Let me just get this serge to dry. Once I get her torso together, then I can pause, let all that stuff seal up, and then we'll answer some questions. Okay. Wargamer Willie, hey buddy. Glad to make a live stream. I'm so lucky to own a ton of armies. Doug's always working on something I have. I love it. I just finished building Gut Rippers, getting ready to build my last unit of Bolt Boys and a Shaman. Nice. That's real cool. How have you tried the Bolt Boys before? How do they do? I know everyone made a big stink about like, oh man, Destruction's getting the shooting unit, but then I don't hear a ton about them. I mean, I also don't hear a ton of anything in Destruction outside of Iron Jaws, but you know. Gonna let that dry. I think it might actually make more sense to glue her feet down first. Let all that dry, and then we can go back on and add the arms, because all that stuff's on top and it's easy to reach. I won't glue it down quite yet, but I like that pose. Very commanding. Yeah, that guy, a lore question. Awesome, thank you. A theme that has come up a lot in a lot of videos is identity. How do you think a demon prince would react to forgetting their identity, a la Stormcast? I don't know. Demons have always been a tough one when it comes to that particular question of identity, because I feel like Games Workshop is very wishy-washy on how much identity an individual demon has. Like, it seems to oscillate. If you read Nagash Undying King by Josh Reynolds, I think it's one of the best books depicting a demon. He has a plague bearer, basically, or Herald of Nurgle, that's working alongside the mortal elements of a Magican of Nurgle army. And he seems to have a very concrete personality, and Scarbrand at one point, at least before he went stark raving mad, seemed to have personal ambitions and on all these kinds of things. I don't know. Like, how much, not only how much do they actually know as far as like their own sentience, but how much does it matter to them? Because it might not even matter. They don't care, It's weird. Like, personality and self-preservation instincts are not necessarily tied to one another. They might all just have the same personality as like Mr. Meeseeks or something like that. Like, we were born for a purpose. And now it's time to die. Here we go. The peg that links her neck to the torso is not very pronounced. Maybe I don't remember cleaning that specific section off, but it just doesn't stick out very far, so it's kind of like, is it in the right place? I believe it is. Nice. Very cool. I like them. Let's cover this up to mitigate how high I'm getting. So yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question as far as the Demon Prince one. I think equally interesting, but along that same lines, is questions like what happens if a Fire Slayer army loses all the actual records they have of deeds they've done in the past, where it's like that's so much of how their faction defines themselves. What if something like that was taken away? Because it doesn't even have to be like personal identity, it's just that's the identity of our people. Cool, so we got those two done. We're on fire today. Herald of Monway. I don't know how to say that. Your review of Seasons of Warthandia got me to buy the book, and I had never played a game of AOS. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy it. There's plenty of cool little bits in there, even if you don't play. Bold boys are overrated unless you take a lot. Even then, they are swingy. Yeah. Out of left field is... Anyone what? Sorry, hiccup. Is anyone watching Halo? I am not. Are those Citadel clippers? How do they stay open? Oh, these are super broken. I broke the ever-loving hell out of these things about 4 times over. I desperately need a new pair of clippers. They're actually rivets where you can see. I did it on a live stream, so everyone got a chance to see me look like an idiot, but I was trying to clip paper clips or something like that to do pinning for the first time, and you can see these 2 huge whole gashes in my clippers. But yeah. Hammond, what's this Klondike business? Oh, it's what you might call a laugh out loud joke regarding the Klondike mountain or whatever what is it called? Kronspire? Kronspine Incarnate of Ghur. Which coincidentally is what we're building right now. Because everyone knows jokes are funnier when you have to explain them. It's a sign of good humor. On my part. Let's see. Plus up, I imagine that a demon prince, someone who has completed their path to glory, would be irked at all that being forgotten. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, if it's someone who ascends to demonhood, I feel like that's different. I don't know. I feel like there's a much bigger distinction between, we'll say, naturally born demons, right? Breaking off of the chaos god themselves. Seems to be a distinction between that and people who obtain demonhood a lot more clearly in 40k than there is in AOS. Man, this sprue is dense as all hell. Now, tell me what you guys think about this idea. I was considering having my Ghur, Incarnate of Ghur, glow with green ethereal stuff rather than the amber. Mainly, I just want some color to it. I think the amber color with all the bones is a bit drab for me, and that's speaking as someone who likes kind of the drab green of his orcs. Hobby party, what's up, Corey? We don't talk about Klondike bars. We're a Hot Pocket family. Exactly. think the time has come to grab a new blade. I'm sure it would last longer if I didn't use it as, like, you know, the every tool that I do for every single thing. But what fun would that be? I'm also the kind of guy who uses like a butcher knife to like make a peanut butter jelly sandwich, so my understanding of tools, I'm going to say, is rudimentary at best. Like the green, I like that. Green works, it's a lot of little wall magic. That's true. Technically, that is also canonical. If you haven't read the book yet, that magic can make these things erupt. So, yeah, if there's enough wah magic, why not? Nice. Okay. I like to cut out, I don't know how you guys build models. I like to cut out like enough parts for a few steps. Like this is already all the pieces I need for this first, almost all of them for that first portion. And then I'll assemble that, cut off the next couple, cut off the next couple, that kind of thing. That way I'm not constantly going back to the sprue, back to the table. Sounds like you're a natural bone splitter then. I will say, so for those of you, pour out a drink or take a shot. I don't know, however you celebrate Doug being Doug. I did sell off the Stormcast that I had. And I did it mainly because I realized I have had more fun practicing and losing with these bone splitters than I ever had, even when I was doing really well with the Stormcast. I think a huge part of it is that there's just so much more movement. And that just makes the game so much more fun and interesting. Even though it's got some hard mode energy to it. There's a little joint back here. That was quick buy. Oh yeah, man, someone snatched that up, and he's like in Illinois, like not far from me. I was like, oh man, I wish it was just a teeny bit closer. I would drive it out and deliver it personally, but it's just on that threshold of like, that's like an entire day and a lot of miles and a lot of gas. You know, that kind of distance where it's just on the brink of irresponsibility. You have to think about it. I do a piece at a time because I don't trust myself. Yeah. Oh, man. Stormcast play the game basics well, but can be boring with repetition. That's kind of where I landed with them. Like, I just wasn't. No. I wasn't seeing myself improve where I already feel like I've seen myself improve at playing the bone splitters like very, very easily. And I think a lot of it has to do with the game is about movement, and I feel like I have a lot more movement options with this army. Because if there's one thing you should know, in case you ever do rock up, the opportunities are few and far between, but if you were to rock up to a Bone Splitter player, you should understand they have incredible movement. Not much else, but incredible movement. I found that when I played a faction for power, it's never as good as when I played and enjoyed lore style. I wonder where I can find the best lore videos on YouTube. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. And then Imachi immediately puts in like a link to someone else. That'd be amazing. I'm in love with Stormstrike Chariots. Yes. And I did keep enough of my Stormcast to do like a ally army in case I ever do get those Fire Slayers, which is a project I want to do at some point. I'm not in a rush right now, but I wanted to be able to have a reason to keep my custom chariot, or it's not custom per se, but the chariot that I had my friends paint. So these horns go back? Yeah, it looks like they face backward. Yep. This picture is not very helpful for helping to understand like the angle of the horns. Like they're very low, very tight angles. I thought they would have come up a little bit further. But no. Now that's a sexy looking boy. He said unapologetically on the internet where he's being recorded. Ah! How does this work? Interesting. Okay, so you guys are going to get the first-hand review here. I don't much like the way that this front jaw is supposed to glue on to these teeth. Feels very... I'm not seeing a thing for it to lock into. So that's a weak part of this kit. Well, I didn't realize you had a Discord until just now. Oh yeah, jump on in. Trying to be more active there lately. Mainly because other social media platforms tend to, cause destruction of humanity and crap like that. cool. Did I do it? Yes. Okay, warning. If you do get this kit, this step right here on the front where you put this little... You put two sides of the jaw, and then you're supposed to put a third one on the front. That third one on the front sucks. That's it. I don't have any alternate instructions for you. It just sucks. You're going to see a whole lot of sad eBay ones on that. It looks like this Incarnate of Ghur got punched in the mouth. Yep. That's how the instructions told you to bill it. Got punched in the mouth face. I got to play a fun AOS game Tuesday. I bought KO with a coalition of Fire Slayers. Go Trek against Gordrak, Kragnos, a Maw Crusher. Holy hell. Look in your meme channel. Oh yeah, I'll check that out in a little bit. Okay, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. They have thoroughly scattered all these to the wind. But yes, Discord is my favorite, at least. It's hard to find good ones, though. Like, I don't mean good ones. I mean, like, literally, like, the interface of Discord to find groups. Unless they hand you a direct link. You're like, wow. Would be nice to have an easier way to search, just for a few other channels, but... Hmm, 12. Where are you, 12? Ah. And then 13, 14. Ooh, I like the skeleton hand. That's cool. Forgive me, once I take a break to look back at what I'm cutting, I will be back in the chat. I have a question for y'all. What are your thoughts on Horus Heresy getting a re-release? Or not a re-release, but a redo in terms of becoming more of a mainline Games Workshop product and a little more support, hopefully model support, plastics. I, for one, I'll just drop my opinion here while I can't look at the chat. I, for one, am very stoked. One of the things I've talked about with friends is that, to me, 40K is a setting, right? It's a large open space where there's enough of a galaxy for anything to happen, and so you and I as gamers can tell whatever story we want to play. Totally cool, love it. The Horus Heresy to me is less of a setting, although of course it is, but more of a story. And the difference is that a story is linear, and I like the story of that. It's essentially a Civil War story. Which I thought was pretty cool. I'm excited for Plastic Mechanicus. Nice. I think Horus Heresy getting a new edition make it more accessible. It's a good thing. Though I know some hardcore 30K players who are grumbling. I don't care. I could not. I can't fathom being like, remember when our game was more exclusive and we had fewer people to play with? as like the good old days. Nah. Get that garbage out of here. Ask any of the War Machine and Hordes players, don't you guys love having this dying game that nobody plays? Isn't it just so awesome that you only get to see each other because you go to conventions and you have to travel the world because there's like 12 of you who still enjoy this? Like, I don't think most folks are in a rush to say yes. Kind of seems like having a game community is good. Okay, I guess. That's fair. I mean, that's a super fair response. I'm glad, and it would be hard to make more expensive than Forge. Yeah. But the GW burnout for me is real. I absolutely respect that. Whenever I get my Games Workshop burnout, which, I do. Even as a channel creator, I'm still a person, got my own personal hobbies. Whenever I do, that's when I duck into conquest mode. Because it's like a very different kind of game, and I like that. I appreciate that about it. Whoa, there are still 12 whole Warhammer Horde players. Yep. I know. And they just... Everything a Kickstarter now, so all 12 of those guys are really putting their money where their mouth is, and I respect it. To the extent that the law requires. As an Imperial Fist fan, I'm loving the studio paint scheme. Yes. Yeah, if you haven't seen it today, they have a Praetor, which is like a leader type model for Horus Heresy in Imperial Fist colors. And I like the Horus Heresy. If you haven't seen their campaign books that Forge World put out, there's lots of, I think they call them color plates, but just different paint schemes from different engagements that they've had. So all that to say, it seems like a really cool way to add some new paint schemes and alternate looks because it's from 10,000 years ago. They don't have to look like what we have now in terms of Space Marine armor. Meaning it would make sense for them to look a little different. At least a little. Let's see. I've got no interest in dark sci-fi. I'm so not interested, but I am glad that people are excited. That's the best. That's the best attitude. That's honestly, that's why I needed to put my computer away for a bit after the last reveals. What was it, Adepticon? And people were just complaining. This is the worst reveal show we've had. Blah blah blah. It's an embarrassment. I'm just like, somebody's really happy. I could be happy for them. That's okay. Good Lord. Okay, so this is going to attach to the base of that fat skull. Oh, perfect. Okay. Figured it. I had to line it up to see it. Okay. Feel very divested from 40K as a setting. I agree. I can't tell, nor do I have any interest in what 40K is up to anymore. But I do have an interest in 30K. And to me, that's what I meant earlier of like, it's the difference between a setting and a story. Settings just exist, stories pull us in. If you get tired of Warhammer, there's always Skyrim. We're here to carry your burdens. Do you mean, now here's the question, do you mean Call to Arms? Because if you mean Call to Arms, I got a box full of that stuff right below my foot. And I like it quite a bit. It's a very cool, I love the way they did the mechanics on like attacking and the special effect dice and stuff. Hey Doug, do you find those GW sprue cutters to be slippery? Yeah, but I wouldn't take my word for it. Like I've said before, I broke these things 10 ways to Sunday. So I don't remember them being particularly slippery and hard to get a hold of before. Now they kind of feel like one of those pocket knives that you can like flip around and do all those kinds of crazy tricks with. Which changes colors or mutates into something else eventually? No idea what that means. Doug, right, this was free on the base when you paint it. I am good. Why would I do that? This was free? I can't fathom anyone else giving a crap. I didn't like how slippery they were, so I wrapped a bunch of rubber bands. Oh, that's a great solution. I might do that for my next one. Stormcast went fast. Yeah, they did. I did not expect that at all. Every reveal showcase, if a Primarch is not shown, is guaranteed to be flamed by the 40K. I love it. Okay, so we got that arm, here's the other arm, and then we have 17, 18, 19. All the way up here, literally the other side of the sprue. Okay. But yes, you are correct. Hyperbole always wins. It gets clicks. That's it. Now I am excited to test this guy out. I was considering, I was like, oh man, if I get this soon enough, I might be able to take it to Vault Wars, but I don't think I could fit this and my, what's it called? Rogue Idol into the same list, because Rogue Idol is like 4 something, this is 400. So that's not going to happen, but, and the Rogue Idol wins because I have a friend making it for me. So I'm just like, oh yes, there's no world in which I would choose this over the Rogue Idol. But could be fun for local games. What is he making? Just joining in. This is the new Incarnate model that came with the Thondia Stronghold thing. Do you think there is an annual award at GW for people who make a single model with the most pieces? Or are they all just monsters? Yeah, sometimes, man, it feels that way. Okay, so we got 15. I see the hand just locks in like that. I like to think so. Like, I like to think, you know, is it an official award? Probably not. But I do like to imagine that they do, you know, someone will just put like a little placard or something like that. Get that rigged up and be like, putting it on James' desks. Why? Because he won this round. Like, oh, okay. Kind of goofed this up and put them all out of order. That was real smart. Real good job, Doug. I jumbled them up on the table and now I gotta figure out which piece is which. That's okay. Both. See, I would much rather see their trophy for like which designer made the biggest model that they try to put on one of those little frickin' toothpick flight stands like all the Carriage and Overlord ships. That's the guy whose face I want to see. Good job, Tim. You made Core Grind as a 14 pieces. Take the day off, bud. You earned it. I love it. Well, then they need to go talent hunting. If you guys have not seen how many pieces the Chris Pratt's character from Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord, that model for Marvel Crisis Protocol, his frickin' face is like 5 pieces. It's ridiculous. Peter Quill, that's the character's name. Okay. That doesn't look right, does it? Nope. Give me just a moment. Oh, duh. That's why it's not leveling out. I got the wrong frickin' piece. That might help. Okay, and then this will... Let's just... Okay, so if that's where that goes, how does... Sorry, I don't. Apologies. Let's see. Wobbliest model of the year. Whoever designed the flying chaos dance, he hates fun. How tough am I? I assembled an entire secret chariot without any directions. That sounds miserable, but I would absolutely watch a contest of people trying to do that, though. I'm here for that kind of madness. There it goes. Okay. Come on. Waited too long, now the paint's all, or glue's all coagulated. With the group chat being so quiet, glorious game of Blood Bowl. Glorious indeed. I'm having a hard time finding local folks to play like one-off games with. They always want to do their campaign things. It's like, well, I can't really help you with that. I mean, I have a team, but it's not like I need to learn how to play the game first. And unfortunately missed apparently my opening to get some demo games in between the seasons. That's the thing, is they go from season to season here very, very quickly. And, you know, the best time you would think to jump in would be in between seasons, but that's not really true. Simply because in between seasons, because they go so hard, everyone's tired and wants a break. So it ends up being a bit of an awkward trying to get people to focus and teach you how to play the game during their downtime in the game, as it were. Sweet. This sucker will go somewhere around here. Oh, I see. It's that little. Okay. The directions here are terrible. I'm just going to warn you guys. If you do pick up this kit, take your time, dry fit everything. Tired of Blood Bowl. They sound weak and puny. What are you pointing to? Okay, so we got the tail thing. Here we go. Oh, is that it? That little nubbin? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. Again, they're just not giving you a whole lot of good angles to see where all these connection points are happening. I'm just going to hold that for a second. Had a game of AOS on Tuesday. I lost, but my butcher insta-killed Be'lakor with Voracious Mossbell. It was epic. That's terrific. I love hearing it. SpongeBob reference aside, I did that because the Exalted Chariot was actually suffering. Was actual suffering. Yeah, I'm convinced that Slanesh actually designed the sprues personally. Right. Okay, so like for example, when I say that the angles for the pictures are not great, this one, it shifts focus to now being upside down. And we're supposed to glue a swirly-do, which is the technical name, of course, for these things, and glue it down below, I believe. Aha, okay, it's this side. I hope. That seeing me fail at this ends up being inspirational that you too can fail and flounder and still be a YouTube celebrity. Now this is essentially a bit of reinforcement, is what I kind of think of it as. Okay, we're just gonna hold it still for a sec. Let this sucker dry, just because I don't want to have to worry about that joint coming undone and all that stuff. Just primed up my Reaver for Titanicus. I managed to build and paint 2 Warhounds and build and prime a Reaver in 2 days. Nice. I want to play that game so dang bad, but it just seems like locally it's like 40k or bust in terms of, you know, game stores, not support, because they sell the Titanicus stuff, but in terms of like, you know, I'll hop onto the store's group page and be like, hey, does anybody actually play this game? I would love to know so I can get in. And there's nothing, there's crickets. Okay. So that was 21. Let's grab our next bit of thing. Now we're actually nearing the end of this model, which is quite nice, if I do say so. Meaning there's not a lot of substance to him. He's just a floating bunch of bones. What kind of camera rig am I using? Oh, happy to say. So this is a Logitech Brio. It's a 4K camera. I got it at Best Buy. That's basically it. For the software, I'm streaming with Streamlabs OBS. And yeah. And I just have OBS set up with some quick hotkeys so I can hop between screen sharing or focusing on me. I don't have my face cam, the one that faces me, all set up quite yet. I was just popping on to do some hobbies, so I didn't think about turning that one on. This is the DSLR camera, the one that faces me. So it requires third-party software to make it work. But that's because it's an older Canon model. Nothing to do with the actual streaming. that where it's latching on to? It looks like it somehow. Again, another step where better instructions would have been very, very helpful. Okay, so that's 21. Here's 20. So let's see if we can... That looks right. We'll just follow it down to where it meets up with this. And my guess for all of these pieces, these little bits of ethereal junk that we have flying around, my assumption is that they are intended to act as like a reinforcing type of deal. That I'm just botching really badly. Yeah, it seems to be the right idea. It just doesn't look good. I'm going to go to the Games Workshop picture and pull that up and see if that offers any additional insight. I do this every once in a while. If you ever get stuck on a model and you're like, how in the ever-loving heck does it work to get, you know, X piece there? It's always good. So I'll show you. We'll go to the shared screen. Okay. Okay, so this is the piece right here we're looking at. Yeah, how come mine doesn't sit flat like that? Excuse me, y'all, while I... Okay, I'm going to say this. This is part of Doug's official review. Games Workshop, if you're going to make a model like this, these instructions need to be better. It just doesn't look like what I'm seeing in the picture. Looks confusing to build. Yeah, It is. I'm not enjoying it, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, hold on. I'm going to reset here. Let's take a look. Because what I'm worried about, because I know that there's ribs here that have to be covered. And so the question becomes, am I really confident in this build, even though it doesn't look quite right, to glue it down? And the answer is simply no. It doesn't look right. So I'm going to pop that off. Let's get the side ribs that go over it first, because that's, if I glue that in wrong, we're hosed. Okay, it looks like those ribs are part of, I don't even know what. Okay. Sorry, but anyway, I'm getting a little flustered with this one. This doesn't make any sense. It's almost like this thing needs to be twisted at like a 20-degree angle, like, for it to look the way it does in their pictures. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. But it doesn't feel right. Like with all the other ones, they kind of click into place once you line it up, but that one just doesn't. It neither looks right nor feels right. Oh well, I give up on that part. Okay, we'll just go ahead to the next kind of mini steps and see if we can get something figured out for that particular rib spot. Sorry guys, I missed the conversation here. Let's see. Going back to Conquest, I found a gaming club near Cleveland that sells models and has players. That's awesome. Titanicus has the problem that those models are only for Titanicus. I would agree with that. You know, across all the Games Workshop products. 24 and 22. I must have missed a step. Am I missing ribs? I guess I am. I am, in fact, missing ribs. Okay, that's okay. We can work with this. So I got that. Right, 8, 9, 10? Yep. So F11 is the only thing we're missing. Which I'm guessing is the rib cage that I'm staring at. I was looking ahead and I was like, none of these things seem like ribs. That's what we're looking for. Sorry, I had so many sub-assemblies for this rib cage because that's half the model that apparently I missed something, so that's on me, not the kit, but okay. So now if we take our boy and we do this, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh, screen share is still up. Thank you. Okay. Well, for your regular videos, are you just recording in Streamlabs? No, for that I use a program called Audacity. It is a free audio editing software. I don't normally do it for videos like these, but for the others I will. Hey, there we go. Guys, it turns out, if you follow the instructions and build it the way they tell you to, and you don't miss any steps, things go smoother. Take it from me, Warhammer Hero Doug, just figuring out how to build models. I've been wanting to make my own videos to help me get through projects. Yeah, so if all you're doing is audio, you're still going to need a... So, okay. There's two different kinds of videos that I make. This is streaming, where it's OBS, is it open broadcast software, and the downward cam. For my other videos, I do audio recordings, and then with my film editor, which is Filmora, which you can Google that, Filmora. When I do that, that's where you can kind of like add the audio layer and put pictures and stuff like that. So it really just depends on the kind of content you want to make. But all those things I had to learn separately. If you did it a piece at a time, you wouldn't have this problem. To that, I will respond, even in a piece at a time, you wouldn't have this problem. I build how I build, Corey. Okay. Now, like a turd of hurdles, we are off. Let's see. 24 and 22. Here's 22. It's on a 130 mil base. Yes, that is correct. Big old fat chunky boy. Which we'll see. To see how like together the model is, I may or may not glue it down. Just to make it easier to get all the various parts. Touche. Oh, man. The instructions are fine. I just missed a step. Be careful. Go through all the different rib things twice over. 23. Where's 23? 22. Hey, hey. Okay, so there's 23. So let's do this real quick. This channel is just amazing. Oh. Oh, man. I can joke with Corey because I know him. We had coffee together at Nova. It was glorious. Although I feel bad because I made him, like, limp 3 blocks to get coffee. I didn't realize he messed up his knee or something like that. I don't know what you hurt, Corey. I can't remember if it was your hip or your knee. Busted up something during the, I'm assuming, debaucherous drinking parties that go on at Nova. Because for being a charity event, you never seen so much swill get slugged. If you'll pardon the expression. Let's see. For me, I'm excited to try this out. His rules are very interesting. So if you're not familiar with it, basically, he takes damage like a monster, but he doesn't have a health pool like a normal monster. Instead, at the end of it's the battle shock phase, something like that. I have the book next to me. I can get it in a second, but you roll 3 dice, and if it's below the amount that you had damage for, so say you had 10 damage, you roll 3d6. If the total is less than 10, then he goes down a profile, kind of. They have their own set of profiles, their own function. But it's interesting. It's certainly compelling when it comes to, now you're asking me to put 18 wounds onto this sucker when I really want to be putting 18 wounds onto something else on the table. Like, that's kind of where I see his utility. Oh, right there. No, that can't be right. Oh no, it is, because then the other leg splits off from that. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Burp. Okay, so is it something like? Just a sec, trying to dry fit this as much as possible. Can you dug it? Yes, we can. Twisted my ankle moving around big fellas during the AOS doubles. Oh no. I'm excited to see the Incarnate table. Hope it isn't too dominating. I don't think it will be, because the second you start doing damage to it, and if you can force those die rolls to see if it's injured, I think it'll go down pretty fast once that train leaves the station on its damage. I think it'll sink pretty fast. I mean, and it has some, because I guess in my mind it only really does super well if it's also going to be supported by other units that have lots of wounds, because then you're asking your opponent to hit a lot of different targets. Okay, so we have one curly-do going this way, and the other one should be roughly... Let's take a look at this picture again. So how do you get it to curl? Let's see. Okay, glue that to there. Done. You come in. Looking for any of the little telltale nubbins, because they're not really consistent. Some of these things have little connector pieces where it's really easy to see. Other ones just don't. But I have not skipped any steps yet since the last time. So we'll call that good. Let's see. Gluing spaghetti together kind of feels that way at the moment, to be perfectly honest with you. Kind of losing my will to live every second that I'm on this model, but interesting. So how does this... I'll have to message my better Brent from Rerolling Ones. I think he has one as well, and ask him if his experience was as soul-crushing as mine. That's the thing, is I know they're both base bits, but how do these things block together? If the camera for these pictures was flipped, I think it could do a lot more good. Oh. That would make a fair bit of sense. Okay, I think we got it. Yep, okay. It's alright, guys. Professional here. After 20 minutes, I managed to glue 2 pieces together. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Please clap. Okay. We're so close. There's like 5 pieces left. Just die. Okay. Wargamer Willie, any suggestions on where to acquire a good table mat? I'm thinking heavy forest themes. Table War is like the standard, I would say. I mean, like a good quality standard. That's a compliment, not like a they're boring. They also often have sales going on, so I would check them out. Table War. Beyond that, I think it's GameMats.eu. I think is the name of the company. They put some out. I think the Game Mats one, they might be the company I'm thinking of, but one of them has like double-sided mats, like reversible. So yeah, you buy your forest, but you know, just in case you want to mix it up, you get something else on the flip side of it. That'd be mine. Does anybody else have suggestions on where to get a good-looking forest mat? See, this is the shot. I call it the money shot. Basically, it is a good aerial view to actually see how these things are supposed to line up. Boom, like right there. See how easy it is when you have a good picture? Mine are deep cut studio mats, and they rock, but shipping was way rough. Okay, Mats by Mart. I think I have heard of that. Yeah, it depends on the material you want. That's a good point, because some of them are PVC, which is sort of like a rollout paper. They're going to cost a lot less. It's just a matter. It's a preference. Some people don't care what it's made of. Some people care immensely, like everything else in life. However into something you are, I guarantee you there's someone who likes it more. Okay. Wow. I'm really patting myself hard in the back here, guys. That one piece, nailed it the first try. Okay, for this we got home stretch. We're just building the little amber thing he's got going on. And I think I may have to glue this, but that's okay. I'm honestly not super worried about it. Oh, hey. Where's this little guy? Oh, good. I haven't skipped it. I saw another ribbon on here. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? But no, not quite. We can clip it out because it's one of the last 4 pieces. Yeah, in retrospect, now that I'm hopefully nearing the end of this, I gotta say, as much as I complained about the instructions, I can't think of a way to do instructions for a swirling three-dimensional beast that would be satisfactory, to be honest. They kind of just need to have like one of their building the videos. You know, when they put out a new box set, they always do like, here's how you build this. But I doubt they'll do that because it's a pain to produce all that, and really the only time you need it is when it comes to the ethereal effects that are swirling around him. I've heard good things about the mats from Frontline Gaming. Yeah, someone great. There's a story there. I've heard that they helped with the Table War stuff in the beginning and then kind of split off to do their own thing. I have no idea about their quality. Don't know a single thing about it. I was just dry fitting to see if there was a little nub, and I was like, I can't tell if that's supposed to be a peg that's going to go into something or if it's part of the sprue, but there was nothing. Okay. Gonna fuse the skull here. Muy bien, great. Glue this on top. There it goes. Now this, even though it looks like a skull, it's supposed to be a huge hunk of Ghur magic realm stone. MacGuffin rock, if you will. Aha, there it goes. The picture makes it look like it goes into the eye hole, and then the photo on the website's like, no, it just kind of goes above it. Okay, I can work with that. So you're just gonna let that sit for a second. And then this bad boy, we take the rest of our beastie. Oh snap, does it really go on there? It does more spirals than I thought. I thought it was going to be something... I don't know. I like it. I'm going to hold off though, because I do need to have room to get the... Oh, snap. Okay, cool. I just realized that I almost glued that thing in place completely accidentally because it has a great gripping point. this joint's going to be a pain. The feline masters of the house are demanding their evening meal. Take it easy, Corey. You have yourself a good night, man. Okay, so this is going to attach. For the rest of you, I apologize. I know this is a little bit on the quiet side, but we've all been there. Building models and then something just flicks out of the side of the universe like that. Off camera trying to glue and not scream profanities at all of you. Evening, everyone. What's up, buddy? So Strength Hammer in the chat. Hobby hero, lover of my soul, Mr. Chuck. How you doing, buddy? Almost there. I'm going to give that a second more to dry, and then we can attach the... well, so here's where I'm at. Do I want to attach the last piece? Like, for real? Because if I attach this, let's see how that would look construction-wise. It'd be something like that. That could be a real pain to get into the bits. So what if I left it like this? It should, in theory, be at least easy to get everything else. I mean, the floating skull thing is separated enough that I'm not too worried about getting into, like, you know, the ribs beneath it. But this might actually be a really good place to stop. Or stop construction, you know what I mean. And then we'll paint this up, and this up. Yeah, that's how I had it before. Okay. So that's how it looks all done, huh? How is that kit to build? I'm a bit afraid for it. I'm gonna level with you. So, one, I missed a step, and that's what kind of set me back for a few minutes. So, go slow. But also, this section here, I'll show you here. Make sure it's on screen. You'll see there's 3 different legs. 1, 2, 3 that all kind of converge. Lining up the third one here was a hassle. It's fine. The problem is, I kept saying, like, the instructions are just not helpful, but I can't imagine what angle would be useful for these outside of that. Like, it's just because the model has so much, you know, angles and swirls to it, it seems like it'd be exceptionally hard to take good, meaningful photos of the CAD files for construction. But I mean, like, the rest of it, like, for the parts that anything that's not ethereal, all the skeleton stuff, it just popped right together. So, I don't know. I mean, overall, I'm trying to think of a kit that I enjoyed building more or less, like where it fits on that spectrum. Easier than Nagash. I didn't hate myself. That's about it. That's about all I got to say. Now here's the question. If I do, so I had considered earlier in the chat doing the swirls as green because it's going to be for my Bone Splitters army. But if I do that, what color do I have the giant realm stone thing be? That's a tough one for me. Because I don't want it to be green because it's not orc based, it's a realm stone thing. But I don't know. So I'm thinking maybe I will do the amber after all. I'll just paint it up very simply with the bone and then go over with... I gotta practice a few different amber combinations with contrast paints. We'll do that. But anyway, I have been going for almost 2 hours now, right? I sure have. So friends, I think I'm going to hop off here. I need to get some air because I've been doing nothing but breathing glue fumes for quite a while. But we have finally constructed our Kronspine. I don't know why I keep saying Spire. Kronspine Incarnate of Ghur. We built off cam here, and we did pinned him too on camera. The Savage Orc Maniac. And over here to the top right, and it's a little off screen, I have 2 characters for Marvel Crisis Protocol: Viper and Sin. And I think with all that said, that ends up being some pretty good hobby progress. Let's see if I can get this guy off without breaking him. Nice. That is downright usable. I like it. So, okay, friends, I'm going to hop off for the day. Enjoy those glue hallucinations. Oh, I always do. Always do. So anyway, friends, I'll catch you all later. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you on my next live stream.